But first of all, really huge news today. So remember on Wednesday we spoke about the Ghanaian player Atsu that was found,
Yes.
but
Oh.
nobody has found him.
Oh.
So apparently some of his teammates had tweeted about him being found. The Ghanaian ambassador in Turkey had said that he was found, and but his agents were trying to reach him. Like, okay, which hospital did they take him to? They tried to get him, and nobody could find him. Um, and so she now came out to say that, oh, she didn't see him. Oh, is that she was given the information that he had been brought out of the under the rubble.
Mm.
So she she was told he was found, so she announced he was found. So what it is that as it stands today, we are not sure if they brought him out from under the rubble, and we don't know where he is as we speak.
This is so
So
sad.
it's so sad. That information had gone around that he'd been found. Everybody was so
Yep.
thankful that he was in the hospital, he was injured. You know, those kind of information. And then his agent comes and starts sounding the alarm, and his family members that, look, we haven't heard from him. Oh. So if he has been found, where is he?
Mm.
And that's how it now turns out
I
that
think his
nobody can.
club have a huge responsibility.
Oh yes, they
Like,
definitely do.
so you see a black man rescued and you immediately
I
assume
assume that
this is Christian
I
Atsu.
don't know what to do. Yeah, so that's where we stand now. So I had to come
Mm.
back with the different information, because I had also come out with the
Mm.
information that he'd been found, because that's the news that came out. But now, yeah,
Praying for
from
a
from
miracle.
family, from everybody, they haven't seen him. So even if he has been found, which hospital is he? Where is he? Why hasn't he contacted anybody, or why has nobody been able to contact him? So yes, there's so many. I understand that. I mean, in the amidst the chaos and
Mm.
all that is happening, with the earthquakes, with the rescue attempts, trying to tally the numbers and all of that, um, there'll be mix-ups, but this was really massive misinformation,
Mm.
very massive one. So we pray that they find him. We pray that we hear good news at the end of the day. So that's what we're waiting for.
Amen to that.
Amen. All right.
Okay, let us know. This is an interactive conversation. The WhatsApp number is 0809 We're also streaming live on YouTube, so you can catch the live stream. Just search for Smooth 981 and don't forget to subscribe. And Tech, are you opening the phone lines?
Maybe we will. Maybe we
Okay.
will. Arsenal is trying to do a thing, and Arsenal has a praying grandmother. Because every time Arsenal messes up, other people mess up right along.
Well, just in case we open the phone lines, you might want to get the numbers and save them, put them on speed dial 0144899981. Can we look at the stories we're
Yeah,
going
let's
through?
start with the stories.
All right, Nigerian sprinter Divine Oduduru suspended, risks 6-year ban. Suns acquire Kevin Durant from Nets in blockbuster trade. Madrid targets own Club World Cup record against Al Hilal. Odegaard says no limits for title chasing Arsenal. PSG's Messi doubtful for Champions League clash with Bayern. European Super League progressing, says Barcelona's Laporta. AC Milan coach Pioli under pressure as Torino awaits, and Scaloni leads FIFA Best Coach Award shortlists.
Yes, so those are all the stories. I actually wanted to really talk about the FIFA Best. That award is happening on the, I think, 27th of February, and the names that came on the list. But what will be my argument? Because Pep Guardiola was on that list, and I'm just like, why is he on the list? And then again, Brazil's Pia Sunday is on the women's list, and my question too is, why is she on the
Mm.
list? So, but hey, I think we'll talk more about it as we get closer to the awards. But for now, let's start with Divine Oduduru and what has happened with his case.
So the Athletics Integrity Unit has announced an immediate suspension of Divine Oduduru, the Nigerian sprinter. The Athletic Integrity Unit has notified him of 2 potential anti-doping rule violations and is also seeking a 6-year ban against the athletes.
Yes. So, in their statement yesterday, this was a little, well, it didn't come as a surprise to many of us that know the Blessing Okagbare story. If you know anything about Blessing Okagbare, herself and Divine Odudu are very close. And she was one of those people that helped to push for his get for him getting a scholarship in the US, and then he left school and decided to sign a professional contract with Puma. So there's no education to fall back on. Just
My God.
just so that, well, let me not say there's no education. There's no degree. Education and degree are two different things. There's no degree. There's no certificate to fall back on. Um, he was notified for possession and attempted use of multiple prohibited substances. So it's not that it was once. It's
Wow.
it's a it's a multiple prohibited use of substances. So there's several times. It's not like I said. If you follow the Blessing Okagbare case, you also know that they're trying to catch her. The target of her case is one agent. But because it was in trying to get him that she was implicated, and now Divine Oduduru has been implicated. They are all together. Now we do not know the full circumstances, because again, Blessing Okagbare is still in the middle of the case and she doesn't want to yet make a statement regardless of how many times you ask her. And I guess she was well advised by her lawyers. Do not speak, whatever happens. So I'm not sure we'll be hearing any statement from Divine Oduduru either. But these are serious cases, and 6-year ban for a 26-year-old. That means after the 6 years, he'd be 32. I don't know what he can compete for at that
If only
age.
he had that degree.
Yeah, just the certificate. That's all you need in this life. Just one certificate. So we don't know what the fallback plan is yet. We're going to wait to hear more information as they come out. But the investigation is still going on, and it's a mega investigation. That's why it's taking this long, and it's going to involve many more people. So really sad news. We'll wait to hear how this pans out.
Is this the sort of thing where everyone who is a professional athlete that's related to Divine in some way is going to start distancing
Look, let me just tell you, if you call their number, they are checking your they're checking your hand luggage.
Wow.
You can guarantee that, and you're peeing in a cup. Sorry.
All right, let's talk NBA. The Phoenix Suns have acquired forwards Kevin Durant and TJ Warren from the Brooklyn Nets in a 4-term trade with the Milwaukee Bucks and Indiana Pacers. Now, Brooklyn receives forwards Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson.
Yeah, so I would say this for the NBA trade deadline. If you thought the football trade deadline was crazy, you haven't met the NBA trade deadline. NBA trade deadline can be so mad in the sense that it can concern 4 teams. So normally you just hear, oh, Sunderland is buying a player from Fulham, or somebody moved from. No, in the NBA, they'll be like, Suns want a guy from Milwaukee Bucks, but they do not have a guy that Milwaukee Bucks needs. So they will now go and meet Brooklyn Nets, because Brooklyn Nets may have a guy. They may have a guy that Brooklyn Nets needs, and then Brooklyn Nets may have a guy or something that Milwaukee Bucks needs. Next thing you know, it's 3 teams that are trading, and you're like, wait, who is going where? What plane is landing where? What's happening here? So usually it's just better to just wait till all the trades are done. But really tricky one, because in fact, let me break your bubble. So Patrick Beverley, he was playing with the Lakers. He thought he was going to the Timberwolves. He had put out a picture that he was hooking up with some of his old teammates, only for him to end up in Orlando.
Wow.
He's with the Magic.
That is almost lethal and brutal.
I'm telling you, you can be sleeping in your house and just be traded at 1 a.m. Wait. Why am I in a new city? I thought I was sleeping in LA. Wait, what's happening? Why am I? Yeah, so it's crazy.
Wow.
The NBA trade deadline. But the key moves though would be Kevin Durant. So you remember we had already spoken about Kyrie Irving moving to the Dallas Mavericks. Well, you know Kevin Durant, like I always say, Kevin Durant is a side chick. You know, he likes soft life. As soon as Kyrie Irving was gone, he was like, so I'm supposed to do all this work? No. Goodbye and God bless. Get me a super team. And that's how it is. And this is why I don't rate Kevin Durant. There's nothing wrong with Kevin Durant's talent. He's one of the most talented basketballers you would ever have seen. But you see that leadership that people want to, he's not around for it. Kevin Durant is not about, his own is to just join super teams and get his accolades and just be going. So as soon as Kyrie Irving was gone, he was like, yeah, I'm going to. And so now he's in the Suns with Devin Booker, Ayrton Senna, and um, Chris Paul. Here's where I thought the Suns got it wrong. They sent Michael Bridges and Cam Johnson to Brooklyn Nets. I'm like, how do you send your future? Those are your two young best players. They do well for your rotation. I don't care how great. KD will obviously be a starter. So who comes in your second team from your bench and helps you with points when these guys are sitting down? So it's crazy, but yeah, that Brooklyn Nets super team that was built with Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant, it failed catastrophically.
Wow. All right. So Real Madrid have proven that they can find the net, even if they must take the field without the talisman of the squad, Karim Benzema, in Saturday's Club World Cup final against Saudi Arabia's Al Hilal in Morocco.
Yes. So Al Hilal made it to the final, and they're waiting for who was going to come through between Real Madrid and Al Ahly. And of course, like I said, it was always going to be Real Madrid. The question was by how many goals? Were they going to take it easy and get into the final, or were they just going to crush Al Ahly? They crushed them.
Like, crush.
Crushed them and went into and got through to the finals. The finals against Al Hilal will be interesting though. I like the way Saudi Arabia football has really grown. You know, all the investments at the end of the day has brought in so to bring results on the pitch. Like they say, soup where the sweets. Now better money kill them. So just bring the money and what you need will be, you can sort it out. But yes, Real Madrid faces Al Hilal. They're going for their fifth title. Ancelotti's already won this title with Real Madrid in 2014 when he was coach. But they've won it more times, so this is going to be their fifth title. And we wait to see how it pans out. Again, I'd still say Real Madrid, even without Karim Benzema, are still the team to beat. Like it's their title to lose. But Al Hilal can pull off a shock in the final. So let's just wait and enjoy that. But I think Real Madrid is coming back with that title.
All right, well, let's take a break. And when we return, we'll read your messages, maybe take your phone calls, but there's definitely still a lot more sports on here. This is The Locker Room on Smooth 98.1.
Open the door, please.
Gosh, this place is freezing.
Some air needs to go out.
It's freezing. Oh, man.
This place is the warmest place in this. Yes.
Really? Wait, let me come and try and see what is so warm. Let me try. See. You're right. What is it?
I don't know if it's the fact that it's in between two walls.
Oh my god, that's actually quite warm.
Yeah, because I don't know.
Oh, damn, this is cold. Maybe it's cold outside as well.
It's not. I can tell you for free. It's not cold outside, my sister.
Yeah, how did it this cold get? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
I can't wait to sleep this weekend.
Odegaard, is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah.
Odegaard, okay. Is he like Scandinavian?
Yeah.
Oh, Norwegian?
Norway.
Sorry? From Norway, oh, okay. All right, so.
I'll be back. No.
Yeah. Dang, I forgot we were even streaming. Smooth 98.1. This is The Locker Room. We've got Tega in here, and Cruz says, you ladies need some hot, spicy pepper soup.
We agree. We'll have it eventually. But yes, let's first let's go to the Odegaard story, and let's talk about Arsenal, the elephant that was wobbling on the tree.
All right, so Martin Odegaard says there are no limits to what Arsenal can achieve this season as the Gunners hunt down their first Premier League title for 19 years.
Yes, time has passed since Arsene Wenger won. What did you think was happening there?
I remember when it was 4 years and then 5 years.
Oh, that's how time goes. You just wake up one morning and you're 25 one day and you're 40 the next.
What did I do?
What did I do with all that time? Yeah, but that's what Arsenal faced Brentford in their bid to get back. They've been knocked off their perch just a little bit by Everton. Bottom of, well, 19th place, Everton had shaken them a little bit with Sean Dyche, with that 1-0 loss. But now they travel to Brentford.
Mm.
But Brentford has done something to Arsenal before. Remember when Brentford first came into the league? It was Arsenal they used to announce their arrival.
Wow.
So this is not going to be an easy one for Arsenal. However, I think, especially with that loss against that they suffered against Everton, they'd be a little more prepared and a little more composed to face a Brentford fight, and they have a Brentford side, and they have to be. On Wednesday, Manchester United took on, oh my goodness, how could I forget the team now? Took on Leeds United, and they lost. No, sorry, they drew.
Wow.
So they dropped 2 points. They drew. They were losing by 2 goals to nil, and then they brought the game back to 2-2. Again, Manchester United will facing Leeds United this weekend, so just for good measure. So they face them on Wednesday, and they'll be facing them again this weekend. For on Wednesday was at Old Trafford. This time they travel to Leeds to play this particular match. So around them, Manchester City, after Arsenal dropped points last weekend, Manchester City also dropped points. So Manchester United dropped points. Manchester United drop points on Wednesday, and then Newcastle also drop points. So it's like every time Arsenal loses, the good news for them is that the people that are chasing them are also dropping points, and I think that's where it will be. But this weekend, they'd want to solidify, they'd want to stabilize. Like I said, they're wobbly on the treetop, and so far they're not even being held up by their strength only. They're held up by the frailties of the other teams around them. But they want to come back with a win against Brentford. So it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a big task, and Brentford is also going to be looking to take scalps. So Arsenal better get ready. I like the way that Odegaard is talking tough. I hope that on the day that it happens, on Saturday, they are also able to deliver. Put your performance where your mouth has been.
Oh wow. All right, so PSG forward Lionel Messi is a doubt for the first leg of the round of 16 Champions League game against Bayern Munich.
Yes, so PSG played against Marseille and lost in the cup 2-1 to Marseille, in the French Cup, 2-1 to Marseille. And I think that was where he picked up the hamstring injury. Now you also have to remember that Mbappe is also doubtful for this year's Bayern match. So without Messi and Mbappe, that just leaves a lot of the work on players that have been, I think, confident because of the star players that they have on their team, and then Neymar to try and pull out a rabbit out of a hat against a Bayern side that requires a result, determines to get a result, and usually does get that result in Europe. So whilst Bayern may be struggling with their inconsistencies, they are also a fantastic side. So it's really crazy to see how a PSG will be able to progress. And you have to remember, Champions League is the holy grail they have been chasing. PSG, like Manchester City, they are chasing that Champions League title. So to go into this tie against Bayern Munich without Messi, without Mbappe, it's already a hard hit before the match even starts. Wow. Really tough one.
All right, Barcelona's president Joan Laporta says plans are underway to create a European Super League. Indeed, and they're expecting a favorable court ruling for the breakaway competition fiercely opposed by UEFA and FIFA.
Okay, so remember when you may not have heard about the first European Super League. So you heard the first. So they changed it a little now. So there are no permanent teams. Before I was just like, why would you have permanent teams? But now it's an open competition, open to everybody. There are no permanent teams, but there'll be 60 to 80 teams competing. Yes, and they'll be playing 14 matches each. And part of their principle is that the teams that are playing in the Super League will still compete in their domestic leagues. So which footballers are going to be playing all these plenty matches? The ones that are already falling apart just because they moved World Cup to November, are the ones who want to play extra 14 matches.
Wow.
So they're saying that they're hoping that they'll continue to have conversations with UEFA. UEFA and FIFA do not want to hear it. They're just like, you can't have a Super League. The fans also don't want to hear it. But here is what is tricky though. They don't want a Super League in Europe, but they're pushing for a Super League in Africa.
Ha 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 ha.
And CAF is welcoming it with open. You see, when you are begging for money in this Africa, when you don't have mouths, when you are begging for money, they want to create. Sorry, they have already created a Super League. They're just waiting for it to start in Africa. And I think part of the reason why this can thrive is that, of course, the domestic leagues are suffering. CAF Champions League is not really moving in the right direction, and there are not a lot of competitions that CAF have organized that have been successful. So any allegedly bright idea from FIFA will be great. So Super League is great for Africa, but it's not great for Europe. I don't want anything that is not great for Africa. It's like my friend said, any makeup products that they are selling in Nigeria that Europeans are not using, she's not buying. Because they're probably using us as guinea pigs. She's not buying. So I'm like that. If it's not good for Europe, it shouldn't be good for Africa. But again, Africa has its own peculiarities of incompetencies, poor management, and the rest. So that makes that sell. But this European Super League, they're really serious about it. And again, I understand why clubs are struggling. Clubs are struggling financially. So European Super League with extra money, with constant funds coming in, looks like a good idea. And for teams like Manchester City and Juventus that may be getting, penalties for financial fraud that they believe that other people are doing, this may be the bitterness that may lead them to going into this. So this European Super League is crazy, but we'll wait to see how it pans out there. What it is that it's not going anywhere. So let's take some of your messages. Let's start with Tayo. Tayo said,
Man United didn't pass the exam, so they are doing a resit of the Leeds course.
Imam from Lagos says Leeds will beat Manchester United very well on Sunday. Ten Hag and his boys barely escaped with some poor officiating as well. Wow, I don't know that. I think that it was both ways. Good morning. This is from Fred Polo.
Yes, Fred says Arsenal are playing at the Emirates.
Oh, sorry. They are playing at the Emirates. So they already beat Brentford 3-0 on their ground this season. We are still on top of Gunners. Okay. Fine. In fact, I think we should open the phone lines now. Last weekend, a lot of the big teams dropped points. This weekend, who do you think will drop points? West Ham Chelsea is the first match on Saturday. So will West Ham Chelsea, will they drop points? Liverpool Everton is on Monday. We can still talk about that on Monday. But first, let's talk about this weekend. So West Ham Chelsea is on Monday. Will they drop points? Will Newcastle drop points? Will Manchester City drop points? Or will Manchester United drop points? The numbers to call are
01448991.
So when you call us, you're telling us who you think are going to win their games and which team you think will drop the points. Fred has already said Arsenal will win. They are going to be sitting on top of the table. And Emma from Lagos has said that Leeds will beat Manchester United. So according to Emma from Lagos, United will drop points. Fred Polo says Arsenal will win. So you tell us what you think. Which of the big teams this weekend? I'm talking top four. Oh, well, we'll have to put Chelsea now because they spent money. All right, top four and all the big teams that spent money. Which of the big teams will drop points this weekend? All right, let's take the next story while we wait for that because this match is tonight.
All right, so defending champions AC Milan will hope to rekindle a season that has swerved spectacularly, of course, when they host Torino in Serie A on Friday, knowing that they could possibly suffer a fifth defeat in a row in all competitions for the first time in 93 years.
All right, so tough one. In the 4 losses they've had, they've conceded 13 goals. Yeah, averaging 3 goals a game with no response. Really horrible performance by Pioli. So yes, right, he's not. In fact, he's not even under pressure anymore. The pressure has pressed him. The question is, can they pull him out from under the rubble? That's where we are right now with Pioli. Really tough day, but tonight he has another opportunity. He faces a team in Torino, which has also, that team has also proved to be a tough side because there can be a banana peel sometimes. You go into that match and on paper, there should be 3 points, but on the field of play on a particular day, they become a tough nut to crack, and especially when your team is going through a run of poor results and poor form. So your players are no longer confident. The players are bickering against each other. Everybody's pointing fingers. There's really it now makes it an even tougher task, to get themselves together. So tonight, Pioli has the opportunity to keep his job. They're hiring and firing managers. So what I can tell him, Pioli, right now, is that there are many managers that are waiting on the wings to take his job. The door of management in Europe is revolving.
Wow.
And it's about to revolve him out if he doesn't get this match won today. At least what happens today is if AC Milan is able to win this match against Torino, he's just able to give himself a breather. Doesn't guarantee that he stays in the job, but it gives him a breather to prepare for the next storm that is coming. But it's a tough task, and he has to win this match this weekend. They are no longer contending for the title. Like I said, the closest person to Napoli is 13 points behind Napoli. And Napoli doesn't look like they're giving up their form anytime soon. So this is not a question about trying to vie for Scudetto. This is just trying to get into top four and stay there. So AC Milan, tough task this night, but it's something that they have to do.
All right, so Argentina's World Cup winning coach Lionel Scaloni and Carlo Ancelotti of Real Madrid and Man City's Pep Guardiola are named as FIFA finalists for the 2022 Best Coach of the Year awards on Thursday.
All right, so the FIFA Best has been releasing names of their nominees, and of course, I knew Scaloni was going to be there because it was a World Cup year. So World Cup year, World Cup winning coach, his name will be there. Do I think though that he should be there? I cannot. Yeah, you can argue with a man's methods, but you can't argue with results. If you're looking at his methods, nothing.
Let's focus on his rewards.
Yeah, that's what. So you have to focus on it's only the result because he won the World Cup.
Right.
His name has to be on the list. Carlo Ancelotti, on the other hand, has a shout in. That guy, he had a magic wand somehow in the Champions League last season. Like every time they looked like they were going out, they will be down in a game, and the players will just be laughing because they know that the match is not over. They could score in the 95th minute, and this time would continue. And so Carlo Ancelotti, yes, for me, gets a big shout. Pep Guardiola, no. I don't know why he's on that list. I would have, if you ask me honestly, I would have thought that Morocco should get a shout in.
That is true.
I would have thought that Morocco should get a shouting for what they did at the World Cup. I would also think that Senegal should get a shout in because of what they did at the African Cup of Nations, and they also moved to the second round of the World Cup. But then again, maybe it's the Dark Continent syndrome.
I was going to say,
yes, it's the Dark Continent syndrome, which is why CAF has to have their own cojones. There's no English. I don't know the English one that will be good for morning radio, but they have to. CAF has to stand on its own. It has to grow its spine, get better management, stand on its 2 feet, and start bringing value. Because CAF doesn't have value, therefore African football doesn't have value. Even if African footballers are dominating across Europe. So it's a really pathetic one. With the women's tournament too, I also don't think that Pia Sondage of Brazil should have been named amongst the 3 best coaches. I thought Emma Hayes of Chelsea should have been there, but hey, that's just Tiga Mojafe in some small town in Africa. But yeah, those are my valid points. We'll take this last message because we're out of time. And this person, Tunde Espanol, says,
Chelsea will surely drop points. Oh my God. I don't like that club. Liverpool too are surely losing. Up Gunners.
All right. And Tayo says, in place of cojones, you can use stones. Tayo, thank you. That's good. Thank you.
All right. Well, that's all the time for the locker room. Thank you, Tega, and thank you for listening, and thank you for being on the live stream. Do stay with us. Lagos Talks comes up from 9 a.m. right here on the Smooth Breakfast.
All right, people. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to bed now. See you next week. Bye.